I have a confession to make. When I put my hand up to test these tools from PB Swiss, I thought they were security Torx keys. In fact, these are safety Torx keys, which means the standard Torx keys with knurling on the shaft. So I was expecting safety Torx keys or tamper-proof Torx keys, which is just a modified Torx key with a hole in the middle to accommodate a post. You know, it's a little bit less common. So the idea is not everyone's gonna have a tool, so less chance of somebody tampering with your bolts and loosening up your equipment. I'll make a more in-depth video about fastener heads in future. But today I'm just gonna talk about Torx or T keys or star keys. With hex keys and Allen keys, the head itself can vary enough in size. I mean, there's variance obviously, but it can vary enough that there's good ones and bad ones. With Torx, not so much. I mean, personally, I've found really cheap ones to really expensive Torx keys to all work pretty well, to be honest. The main idea of Torx is an improved hex. It reduces cam outs. A cam out is when the key itself sort of pops out of a screw or bolt and damages it. Right, and it does so in a couple two main ways. First of all, the actual contact plane or the way it engages is much better. So with a hex, if we imagine this is the inside of a hex key or bolt, if we just look at one of the corners, it's sort of like that. When the tool engages in there, you can see here there's sort of we're engaging in sort of that angle. Now with a Torx, if we look at one of the points, sort of more like that, and as it engages, you can see that angle now is sort of through there. So that plane, contact plane, is just more secure. That's the first way. The second way is the head itself is slightly tapered. I mean, hex keys are also slightly tapered, but with a Torx key, because of a increase in, you know, just surface contact area, that makes a huge difference. The two main ways it reduces cam outs. Now, I'm making a guess here, but because of that taper, my only issue with Torx, I mean, but it's not really an issue, it's just more of a feeling thing. Because it's tapered, the bolts and screws for Torx, it's a lot shallower. Having said that, I've never stripped a Torx bolt. So like I mentioned, with Torx keys, they all work really well. But finding out perfect one is about the type of wrench. So there's quite a few different types. When I say type of wrench, I mean this is an L wrench. I have here a T-handle wrench. I'll grab these two. A T-handle ratchet. A socket wrench, a ratcheting socket wrench. So there's different types for different use cases. So today, though, I'm going to talk about two main use cases. First of all is installing time-lapse units. And the second use case is mountain bike maintenance, or bicycle maintenance, but you know, I love mountain bikes. But first, let's take a closer look at the PB Swiss 3411 Torx key L wrench, which are these, all the L wrench set, which is they come in there's a T6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 25, no T27 or T30, not a deal breaker, but it'll be nice to have a T27. T30, very rare, but you know, occasionally T27 will be nice. They're made from a steel alloy, which means, you know, you can magnetize or demagnetize these, which is really handy, but also means they're super durable. And it's quite light actually. There's a bit of weight into it, enough weight for that tactile feel, which is really good if you've got a mobile toolkit, you want to keep your weight down. I mean, aesthetically though, these are amazing. I mean, the knurling on this, oh, it's gorgeous. The knurling, it's so consistent throughout the tool, throughout the set. It's super consistent. It feels nice. It doesn't rip into your hands. It's grippy enough. I mean, I've got other tools with knurling on there, and you know, this is all right. The vessel's really nice, but it's just the finish is kind of rough. It's not as clean. I mean, whereas this is all Avid tool. Don't know if you guys remember Avid. It's there, but it's more texture. It's not really for grip. Across all the keys, I also have laser engraving. Anyway, it's a lasered on, the serial number, as well as on the short end, the size. and it's consistent. A really nice touch is they're all consistent. There's no changes in color or position. It's a very small thing, but you know, when you have it's nice to have nice tools, right? Another thing is 2 ends, they're just standard flat ends, and they are colored, which is just a nice touch. They just look real premium, you know. They're really nice finishing on there. I don't think the coloration I don't think it's a special coating or finishing, I don't think. I couldn't find any information about that. I mean, in the B-roll, you'll see it's a pristine because they were brand new when I shot the B-roll, but these especially in particular the T25, that's had a lot of use, so you know, it has gone a bit silver, it's worn off. But still really nice. I mean, it gives them more character. The rest of it, I like to keep my tools super clean. You know, clean tool's a happy tool. So yeah, just aesthetically, really, really gorgeous. In use, that's an important thing. In use, so unfortunately with COVID and how long it took to actually get these, I had a project which was very highly elevated, about 40 meters up in the air, but unfortunately that project's over by the time I got these tools arrived. So and also because I thought these are security Torx, what I've done is there's a camera out there, it's only 3 meters up in the air, but I changed those bolts on that unit to be just Torx keys to test them out. I guess the main challenge when I am up 30-40 meters in the air is the wind. It is windy. There's a high risk of dropping these. I'm usually wearing gloves because it's also very cold for extra grip. Like all my tools are tethered onto me or chained onto me. These are light, so it's really easy to tether. Whereas, you know, in the past, I've used this. I've used a socket wrench, and there's a bit of weight to it, which means when I'm attaching it to things, I really need to make sure it's attached firmly. Whereas this, so light, it's nice. Also means like when I'm climbing up, you know, if I'm climbing up to get up to top of building sites and things like that, it's just less weight to carry, which is really nice. But they work great. So in the glove, it's just nice having that extra tactile feel. When I'm working on mountain bikes, I also wear gloves. It keeps I'm getting old, so you know, the harsh chemicals really get to me over the years. So I'm wearing gloves. It's really nice just having that extra tactile feel. Like when you hold these, you're holding them right at the end. So you know, they are a bit long. Not a bad thing. It doesn't get in the way, to be honest, for me. The extra length, I mean, there's nothing that I need to reach into it, so I guess they don't need to be that long. It's the only advantage I have with a longer one. You can get a bit more torque, but honestly, I use L wrenches to more just to wind bolts in because usually I'll finish them off with a torque wrench. On bikes, I pretty much always finish off with a torque wrench, just have a time, just like to finish things off nicer. This has replaced my portable toolbox Torx key because it is a little bit long. It's easy to find, but you know, don't really need the extra length. It's nice, I guess. It's easy to grab when I have it in pouches as well to find. So that's nice there. Also, another thing is, I mean, this is another thing. There's something I've learned in my early years working at a bike shop is the head mechanic at Cycles, which no longer exists, which is a bit sad, but he taught me that for smaller hexes, 1.5 to 2.5 mil, because they're so small and the walls on the bolts are really small, when they get dirty, there's a lot of resistance, and so it makes it really easy for you to strip those smaller bolts. So what he said was, use Torx keys. Reason being, there's more surface area on there, less chance of camming out. Another thing which is really nice about this, I'm just gonna got a brake lever here with reach adjustments of 2.5. I've got a T8 here, which fits nicely in there, which goes right in. Now, that knurling is really nice because with these smaller bolts, you don't need a lot of torque. They're usually, you know, grub screws or retaining screws and this adjustment screw really. Because of a knurling, you can just spin it, which means, you know, you're never going to over torque it. I mean, you can use this bit too if you want to, but that's all you need. It's really nice. So there's a tip for you. It means it's super secure. You know, I didn't have to push that in very far. So you don't strip your small hexes. So talking about using Torx keys in place of hex keys, the T27, surprisingly, I mean, there are a few bolts with T27. I mean, you need to torque them up so much. There's a lot of torque. Usually they're like, you're looking at a pretty big bolt or screw. But where I also find a T27 really useful is they fit M5s or 5mm Allens. So if you've rounded one out or it's a bit damaged, you can actually get a T27 into a 5mm Allen. It's just a side thing. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it'll be nice to have because then I don't have to have this kit as well as buying another a T27. Like I've found, it's rescued me in quite a lot of situations with linkage bolts in particular. Often they'll be like 5mm or 6mm Allen keys, and people sort of just mash them up because I guess dirt and stuff gets in there, so it never sits quite right. So it increases that chance of camming out because you're not actually getting the entire key into the bolt. So would I recommend these? Yeah, I would. Main reason being is, if you're going to have one tool, it would always be a L wrench, the most versatile. And that goes for hex wrenches as well. When people ask me what's the best one, you can get a multi-tool, but they're just hard. Problem with multi-tools is more access and leverage and things like that. Also weight and just ease of use. But so an L wrench is always the most versatile. You have a long end to wind in bolts or screws, and then your short end is for really torquing or tightening your fasteners. So an L wrench is always a must, in my opinion, for any toolbox. If you're going to get one, it's going to be L wrench. Now, for my use case for the time lapse, my favorite is this. I got this recently. This is a T-handle ratchet. I love this one in particular because it has a hole, so I can put a chain through. I can attach it to myself really easily. Chain or lanyard. I have a special pick design loop that goes through there. The magnet in this is amazing. I mean, look at that. That's going to hold any bolt. So that's my preference, and also the ratchet just means it's so quick and easy when I'm up high. For the bike, because my main use on the bike is disc brake rotor bolts, it is a T-handle. Main advantage of this is I can get my hand right up to the top, so I can put some pressure on there, which means it's going to really reduce the cam out, and I mean my hands cramp up really easily, so the bigger handle's really handy. Oh, one thing, nearly forgot, this knurling doesn't go the full length. There's a little gap in the middle, which is smooth, which means, like, you know, when you get it in there, especially on the smaller ones, on the smaller Torx, when you get in there, you can spin it so much easier. But yes, for bikes, T-handle wrenches would be my go-to, especially these ones. These people set 1704s. They're nice and comfortable, and you know the P-handle ones as well from Wera and whatnot. But that's what I personally would go for, one of these and a torque wrench. For portable toolkit, these are it. I mean, these aren't too long for portable toolkit. They're nicely weighted, they're easy to hold, super grippy. So like when you're out and about, less chance of dropping things. You know, you don't want to drop things in the mud or stuff. It's just really nice. Plus I get a lot of comments about these. People go, oh, what are these? They look lovely. And they do, they're gorgeous. I'll stop waffling now. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Hope this has been somewhat informative for you. If it has, let me know. If it hasn't, let me know. Say hi down in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know if I've missed anything. Oh, actually, you know what? If you found the perfect Torx key, Torx wrench, let me know. I'd love to know. Till next time, happy wrenching.